Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of my Snowflake Iron Man series, Adventures of Ao, featuring OneWayWallet, Ao for short, my NoCurrencies ultimate Iron Woman. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I'd suggest you start at the beginning. You can find the link to the series playlist in the description. Last episode we left off with finishing 27 Hunter, which concluded our business on Zaya for the time being. Now we're heading back to Ham once again for easy clues, still on the hunt for the coveted air staff so we can use our chaos runes for quest bosses and more. Of course, if we happen to get an early team cape or golden apron, you won't see me complaining. We're picking back up again with Ham right now at 18 thieving. 19, 20, 21, and we finally get our first clue this episode. This actually looks like worse luck than it really is. Based on the XP we've gained so far, we haven't even done 90 pickpockets, and easy clues are a 1 in 50 chance here, so we're not even double the drop rate. I've seen worse. Considering that we came here at 15 thieving and got 2 clues before we even hit 16, we're probably still under rate overall. We're off to do our clue, but since I haven't mentioned it, I want to note that we're saving coal from Ham members so we can do Elemental Workshop 1. This quest requires 20 mining, smithing, and crafting, but it also requires 4 pieces of coal to make the elemental bar. Getting the coal this way means we don't have to get 30 mining yet. And casket! Alright, definitely our highest value clue reward so far, but the page is actually useless. I won't be able to get any god books on this account, and that's down to not being able to do Alfred Grimhand's bar crawl. All of the drinks cost GP, and the mini-quest is a prerequisite for Horror from the Deep. Not being able to drink ourselves blind also means we can't access the Barbarian Agility course, which honestly sucks because they're both medium and hard clue steps inside. With those higher clue tiers, being locked out of a step here, there, and everywhere basically means our completion rate is abysmal. Clue juggling is going to be essential in the future to boost our odds of success. I only started doing clue juggling late on the other account, but for the past several months now I've juggled 100% of medium and hard clues, and that'll be the plan for this account from the get-go. Anyways, we just finished a clue in the Dwarven Mine, and that's right near Falador, so I've decided it's time to do recruitment drive. We tried last episode and discovered we can't put in sold heads or clues on the table, but I'm clueless at the moment. That does mean the unsold head is unfortunately gonna have to go, but I'm tired of having 1 agility, and I'm saving 60% Arceus favor for the point where we're ready to tackle Core and Favor in earnest. But that won't be until we've got both an air staff and the games necklace. I'm pretty sure we also won't be able to put Carrod's memoirs on the table, so we'll have to destroy it, but we can reclaim it from Vios and the charges won't be lost in doing so. Everything else should be fair game though, which means that we can do the quest. So let's talk about this a bit more. I'm going to put literally all of my possessions on a table, where someone else could theoretically see and take all of them, and try and finish this entire quest in under 10 minutes. This is gonna be so stressful. The other times I did this quest, I just stuck my stuff in the bank and did it no sweat. I realize I have the option to suicide at Edgeville, for example, but I feel like it's way too early to be exploiting death mechanics, if I ever do, so I'm going to do it this way. In 3, 2, 1, go. If you didn't work it out before, this fight right here is the entire reason I had to make my accounts girls, both the main Snowflake and this one. Only female characters can win this fight, and changing to a male character costs 3000 GP, so we're just going to leave things as they are. that's the last of it. My heart is pounding. Gotta say though, we nailed that. I put the timer in the video, but I wasn't timing it when I actually did the quest because I was worried it would distract me. Praise be to Zamorak that no one yoinked our items. Before we return yet again to the ham hideout, we're gonna pop on over to the wilderness and get ourselves a looting bag. I hope you guys aren't sick of staff bashing content. There's the bag, but we're only putting one item in it right now, and that's the God page. I may change my stance on this at some point when the account is farther along, but for the foreseeable future, I plan to only use this bag for items I plan on drop trading to pay for bonds. I don't want to just use it as a second inventory, just to keep the whole UIM thing as pure as possible, and see how far I can push things without any overtly exploitative mechanics. I'm in a unique position already as a UIM without construction, so I figure we may as well go balls deep with this. We're alking the Initiate Helm because we just don't have the space for it, but I'm actually kind of sad about this. I used this very helm to get my fire cape on the other account, because at the time it was literally my only head slot item with a prayer bonus, at 98 combat too, to give you an idea how bad my gear was. We just got a steel pickaxe and thread, 2 more items we need for Elemental Workshop 1. And it's back to the Dwarven Mine again. I feel like half our clues take us here or Falador. Falador confirmed. Since we're here and we have a steel pickaxe from ham members, we're just gonna bang out 20 mining. Easy. There we go! Not 1, but 2 air staves. Yes, yes. Under rate as well. The odds of an air staff are 1 in 12 from an easy clue, so that's awesome. We're also alking the duplicate staff because it's got no use to us. I'm very happy with just 1. Now that we've got our air staff, our focus is going to be shifting away from clues for the time being, and quests will once again be our primary objective. On the subject of quests, I want to try something new here by formally posing a trivia question to you viewers and awarding a bond to the first person to answer correctly down in the comments. The question is, how many quest points will I have once I'm done questing on the UIM here, based on the quests currently in the game? I want to note that the number of quests I'm going to do on this account is 1 less than the number of quests I can do. There's 1 quest I won't be doing, because doing that quest goes against the account's best interests, so that needs to be considered. With all that said, leave your answers down in the comments if you want a shot at a bond, and good luck! Now, since I just said a second ago that we're going to be focusing on quests instead of clues now, you might be wondering what we're doing going back to the ham hideout yet again. I might get another clue while we're here, but since we've got 3 out of the necessary 4 coal for Elemental Workshop 1 clogging our inventory, I want to get the last piece right now and get the quest out of the way. The crafting XP from that quest is also going to net us the level required to finally make a games necklace. Well, I guess we'll be doing 1 more clue, but I'm just going to stay here right now until we get the coal, rather than leaving after every clue we get. There's our last piece of coal, and we've also got 2 pieces of iron ore, so I'll try and turn those into bars because, well, why not? Now let's get after that clue, and then we can do Elemental Workshop 1. And we get another casket. That's great, but we aren't actually going to open it yet since we don't have the space, in case we get anything we need to keep. Doing the quest will free a bunch of spaces though, so we can open it after. It's hardly urgent anymore now that we've got our air staff. We're in Sears Village and we've got all the items we need for the quest, but what we don't have is inventory space. So we're just using another table to store a few things we don't need to finish the quest, and we can grab them again in like 5 minutes. There's our elemental bar, and I think we can get away with opening our casket now. Purple sweets. That's another item that's probably never going to leave our inventory again. Now we're going instead of finishing the quest, because it turns out we don't have everything we needed. I forgot a hammer, and I can't get one in the immediate vicinity, so finishing this quest is going to have to wait a little bit longer. I'm at least pleased to see that all our stuff is still here. People do occasionally come to this spot for easy clues. We're gonna go to Ardone to grab the hammer spawn there, but instead of walking back after, we're going to lengthen this detour by going further south and putting this air staff to the test by killing the Khazard warlord for Trinam village. Of course, when we don't have any particular need for iron bars, we manage to smelt both of our iron ores. I'll probably turn those into arrow tips and make iron arrows once we're near an anvil. It might look right now like that's just going to clog another inventory space, but my rationale is that iron arrows are a common maze reward, so we could find ourselves at the stack at any point really. Now we've got him trapped. Easy game. And there's another quest done. Now we can use spirit trees, so we're going to head straight to the gnome stronghold and bang out 10 agility so we can use the Draenor rooftop course. There's 10 agility, and now, since we're in the gnome stronghold, we're gonna start the grand tree. I forgot that we can't teleport from the gnome stronghold until the grand tree is completed, but with Baroque teleports we've got a decent alternative. We can take the tree to the battlefield of Khazard and then talk to Hazelmere. Stopping here in Port Khazard to make those iron arrows, and then we can get on with the grand tree. So we're near the end of the quest, and we've hit another roadblock here. In order to get higher up into Gluff's tree, we need 25 agility, and we're still sitting at 10. I don't feel like doing agility right this second, so we're gonna go ahead and do Witch's House and finish Elemental Workshop 1 after that. Grab the cheese and we're all set. So in case any of you don't know this, if you try and take the ball before attacking, the experiment will drain your stats, so you can just ignore it and attack immediately. There's 33 magic, so we can cast Telekinetic Grab. That's going to be important in the near future. And there's Witch's House. 20 to 27 hit points. Let's pop on over to Seer's Village and finally finish Elemental Workshop 1. And it's as easy as that. 27 crafting, so that's got us covered now in Games Necklaces and Dueling Rings. I'm feeling really eager to get Games Necklaces on here so I can get around easier, so I'm going to start working towards that. Getting access to Keldagrim required that we start the Giant Dwarf, but we're actually never going to be able to finish it because the quest requires 200 GP. Now the reason we're here. Necklace and ring molds can both be stolen from the crafting stall. I've never understood why, but amulet and bracelet molds weren't included. Sucks for me, I guess, but where would Snowflake Ironman be without totally arbitrary difficulties? Molds acquired. I'm going to hang on to the ring mold too, just in case we get any emeralds, because then we can make a ring of dueling. In the time it took to walk to Keldagrim, I formulated a ridiculous plan to get my Games Necklaces. But first, I'm actually going to get my agility up in Draenor, since I'll be in need of items nearby. There's 20 agility, but going to Alcurid is 100% not worth it right now, so we'll stick around a bit longer. we're going to stop right here at 23 agility, because now we have enough experience to hit 25 with the XP reward from the Depths of Despair, at which point we'll be able to finish the Grand Tree. Next up, we're going to be doing Sea Slug. It doesn't seem likely, but I promise this is related to games necklaces. The only item required for Sea Slug is Swamp Paste. If you did this quest on an Iron Man, you probably bought it at a shop, but I have to make my own. This is done by mixing swamp tar with flour, and then cooking it. We're going to need a knife as well for a quick stop after the quest, so we'll snag one from ham members. I do come here an awful lot, don't I? There's our knife. Now we've got to pick some wheat and grind our own flour. It doesn't get any more DIY than this. The only way we could top this is by building our own windmill. Too bad we're locked out of construction, huh? Raw swamp paste acquired. We can cook this over an Ardone and go start the quest. I'm so glad we have access to spirit trees now. In tandem with Baroque teleports, it makes getting to the other side of the map so much easier. All we need now is a range. Or not. I'm not sure if I forgot or just didn't know this specifically requires a fire. That's really weird and really obnoxious. I'd make my own fire, but I don't have an axe or tinderbox at the moment. Luckily though, I know where to find one. Literally unplayable. You know, I gotta say, I also didn't know that gave you cooking XP. This game is just full of surprises. Anyways, let's go do Sea Slug. And there we go. 24 fishing, straight from level 1. You'll love to see it. And now we've also conveniently got a light source. So we're going to swing on over to the Temple of Ikov just north of here and grab ourselves some proper boots. This is why we grabbed the knife. Boots of Lightness acquired. The only piece of weight-reducing gear we'll ever own, since we can't buy graceful or weight-reducing hunter gear. In a little bit, we're going to put those new fishing levels to good use because we're going to get our sapphires from fishing to make our games necklaces. No, really. But we're also going to be questing more on Zaya soon, and we'll need a pickaxe and a bow, so I'm going to grab those now. I could grab a bronze pickaxe spawn, but I just prefer seeing a steel in my inventory, so we're going to get it from Ham, and maybe get one more clue while we're at it. There's a clue. And there's the pickaxe. Before we do this last clue step, we're gonna grab some flax in Taverley so we can make our own bow. We'll be able to grab some logs and a knife at Lumbridge Castle. Another page! So that means another trip to the wilderness to deposit that in our looting bag. Seeing as we're out of inventory space though, I'm gonna leave the molds here. Those will be easy enough to reacquire later. Since we unlocked Keldegrim by walking there before, we can get there via minecart now from the GE, so it'll be way quicker. It just occurred to me that I should be storing spades with tool leprechauns whenever I happen to have them on hand instead of dropping them, so that way I'll have much easier access to them when I need them for future clues. Now let's grab that knife, but since that clue so kindly gave us an axe, we don't need to go to the top floor for logs. Make our bow, and now the axe can do double duty by getting us to the wilderness via canoe. Stick the page in the bag, and now we can head to Zaya. I know I said I want my games necklaces before we go back there, but we actually need to go to Zaya to do our fishing content, to get our sapphires, to make our games necklaces. If that doesn't make any sense, it'll all become clear in the next episode, where we'll do all our upcoming Zaya content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.